Okay, so chapter 15, Industrial Revolution, part 2, Karl Marx and Communism. Also going to cover socialism and command economy. So here's the key ideas of communism. This is kind of what they believed in. They believed that all of history is a story of the class struggle between the bourgeoisie, the owners of the means of production, people who own the factories, people who could make things, people who own the land, and the people who own the resources, and the proletariat, which was the industrial worker. The goal in communism is to create a classless society. Private property should not exist. All capital should be controlled by the government. This does not include personal property, only that which can be used to make a product. Scientific socialism. To separate his ideas, Karl Marx, from the utopian socialists of the day, Marx believed that the evolution of the worker-controlled state was inevitable. In other words, the workers would take over the means of production, which would pretty much take over the country. Socialism is a political movement to improve the lives of workers by passing laws to protect them. Later socialists argued that the government should own basic industries and provide essential services. The government should give free schooling, low-cost housing, inexpensive public transportation, and the government should provide a national health program. The bourgeoisie is never going to give up their advantage, so the proletariat, the worker, will have to revolt and take over the government to create the needed changes to society. Command economy. In contrast to market forces driving the economy, which is what we have in the United States, the factors of production all are controlled by a central administration. The central administration usually is going to be the government, which determines what is going to be produced. So in this system, they believe in cooperation rather than competition. So in a command economy, the government is going to decide what's going to be produced, the government is going to decide how it's going to be produced, and the government's going to decide who is going to actually produce it and get all these items. So Marx wrote two important books, the Communist Manifesto, which was written with Frederick Engels, which is a short work that was quickly published in 1848. And what happened was revolutions were happening in 1848, so he had to write a book very quickly because we talked about the Age of Revolution in the last chapter. The other book was Das Kapital. Marx wrongly thought that these revolutions in 1848 were the start of the anticipated communist revolution. The remainder of his life, he worked on Das Kapital, a 3-volume work that detailed his ideas of every aspect of the communist economic system. The Second Industrial Revolution. In the late 19th century, inventors, improvements in chemicals, steel, and petroleum industries, and the production of electricity led to several different inventions. So Thomas Edison developed the phonograph, which you see here, motion pictures, and the electric light bulb. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Adam Curie studied radioactivity and discovered radium. Important ideas. Economics describes how people meet their needs. In a free enterprise system, people are free to choose what to produce and what to consume. Adam Smith in The Wealth of Nations explained how this system worked. Geography and other advantages set the stage for the Industrial Revolution to start in Britain. Britain had coal, Britain had iron, Britain had running water, Britain had harbors. It had a strong middle class, it had political stability, and a huge colonial empire and global trade. New inventions in textile manufacturing triggered the Industrial Revolution. The spinning jenny allowed many threads to be spun at a time. James Watt improved the steam engine, drove textile machines, and steam engine which drove textile machines. Production moved from the home to factories, where large numbers of people worked on machines. The power of the steam engine was next applied to transportation technology. Steamboats and railroads made travel cheaper, safer, and faster. The Industrial Revolution led to economic, social, and political changes. Mass-produced goods became cheaper. Families moved from the country to towns and then to cities. The workers' conditions worsened, and some called for social reform. Critics of the Industrial Revolution included Karl Marx. Communists believed that eventually workers would overthrow the capitalist factory owners in a violent revolution and abolished private property. Early socialists also criticized laissez-faire capitalism, believing workers should be given greater rights and opportunities and that government should own some of the businesses. The Industrial Revolution encouraged a rising middle class in Italy and Germany who demanded unification, both countries unified by war.